Hello girls, welcome back. Today we are going to read and understand a wonderful story from your English literature book. That is Ivan's Story by Catherine Applegate. Now let me tell you something about the author. Catherine Applegate is an American writer whose works includes fantasy and adventure novels. Her children's novel, that is, The One and Only Ivan, makes us think of how we treat animals and how animals feel. Ivan is a gorilla who lives at a cage in the mall. He has spent 27 years either living in a human home or at a cage in the mall. He tells us through the story that he has nearly forgotten his life in the wild. So children, now you are going to read the story along with me. Okay? Now children, open your books. Unit 2, Ivan's Story. The Grunt. Children, grunt means a short, low sound. I was born in a place humans call Central Africa. In a dense rainforest, so beautiful, no crayons could ever do it justice. Children, rainforest means a thick forest in areas of the world that get a lot of rain. No crayons could ever do it justice means that no one could be able to draw or paint the beautiful rainforest. So Ivan here tells us that he was born in a place called Central Africa, which was a thick forest, that is a dense forest, with a lot of trees, and it was so beautiful that no one could be able to paint it. Gorillas do not name their newborns right away, the way humans do. We get to know our babies first. We wait to see hints of what might yet be. Now, Ivan says that the gorilla babies were not named as they were born. Their parents waited to identify their habits and name them accordingly, unlike the humans, where they name their babies immediately. When they saw how much she loved to chase me around the forest, my parents decided on my twin sister's name, Tag. Ivan had a twin sister and her name was Tag. She loved to play the game tag. Oh, how I loved to play tag with my sister. She was nimble. Nimble means able to move quickly and easily. And tag means a game in which one player chases the other. But when I got too close, she would leap onto my unsuspecting father. Unsuspecting means when we do not know that something is going to happen. So, as I've already told you, Tag loved to play the game tag, which means chasing someone. Ivan loved to play with his sister. Now, the children, that is Tag and Ivan, they both used to play games, and Tag was very fast and would move easily and quickly. But Ivan, he could never chase her. Whenever he came close to her, she would jump on her father's belly. Then I would join her and we would bounce on his belly until he gave us the grunt, a sound that meant enough. That game never got old. Although my father might have disagreed. So,
their father, who never expected it, that they would jump on their stomach. Then Ivan and Tag would bounce on his belly until he got irritated and stopped them with a grunt, which meant enough. They both loved playing even if their father did not agree. The next one, that is mud. It did not take long for my parents to find my name. All day long, every day, I made pictures. I drew on rocks and bark and my poor mother's back. I used the sap from leaves. I used the juice from fruit. But mostly I used mud. And that is what they called me. Mud. To a human, mud might not sound like much. But to me, it was everything. Children, sap means the liquid in a plant or tree that carries food to all its part. So, now what happens? Mud loved sketching pictures. Who was Mud? That is Ivan. Ivan's name was first Mud. He drew on rocks, barks, and sometimes on his mother's back. Sometimes he used the sap of a tree and the juices of fruits. As I've already told you, sap is the liquid that helps to carry food to the other parts of the plant. So now Ivan mostly used mud. That's why his parents named him Mud. So though mud was not precious for we humans, but it was for Ivan, that is mud. Okay? So now children, the third point, that is protector. My family, which humans call a troop, was just like any other gorilla family. So children, the gorilla family was called a troop. A troop is a collective noun which is given to a group of animals. There were 10 of us. My father, the silverback, my mother, and 3 other adult females. A young male called a blackback and 2 other young gorillas. Tag and I were the babies of the group. So, Mud, that is Ivan, he had a large family. So, who all were there in his family? Let's see. First of all, silverback means an adult male gorilla with white or silver hair across his back. Blackback means a young male gorilla. So in his family, he had his father, who was called Silverback. I have already told you that it meant an adult male gorilla with white hair across his back. And his mother, along with 3 elderly females. A young male gorilla called Blackback, which meant a young male gorilla, accompanied by 2 other young ones. The youngest of the 2 babies were Tag and Mud. Children, I already told you that Ivan's name was Mud first. His parents named him Mud. Later on, he got the name Ivan. Let's read again. We fought from time to time, but my father knew how to control us with a simple scowl. Scowl means an angry look. So, he says that we both used to fight with each other, but were stopped by our father with a scowl. And for the most part, we were happy to do what we were meant to do. To feed and search for food, and nap and play. My father was a master at leading us to the ripest fruit for our morning feast, and the finest branches for our night nests. He was everything a silverback is meant to be: a guide, a teacher, a protector. So he continues to tell us that they loved their routine and were happy to feed and search for food, have short naps, that is, nap means a short sleep, and to play around. So their father would lead them to which fruit to eat, help them to pick the ripest fruit, that is a cooked one and not raw. And he would also help them to look for the finest branches to sleep. Their father was everything to them: a guide, a teacher, a protector. Now, the third point, that is the perfect life. Gorilla babies, elephant babies, and human babies are not so different, except that a gorilla gets to spend the day riding on his mother's back. So now children, there is not much difference in all animal babies and human babies, except one thing, that a gorilla baby gets to spend the whole day riding on his mother's back. Slowly, carefully, a young gorilla begins to go further and further away from the safety of his mother's arms. He learns the skills he will need as an adult. How to make a nest of branches. Weave them tightly or they will fall apart in the middle of the night. How to beat your chest. Now we'll turn to the next page. We'll continue reading from here. Cup your palms to amplify the sound. How to move from tree to tree. Don't let go. How to be kind, strong, and loyal. As a young gorilla, you make mistakes. You play, you learn. You do it all over again. It was, for a while, a perfect life. So children, slowly they began to move further away from the safety of their mother's arms. As they grew older, all of them need to learn the skills of survival and hence became independent. The journey would be of committing mistakes and learning, but they were happy to learn all over again. This life of theirs in the jungle was their perfect life. Children, I forgot to tell you, the meaning of amplify is to make louder. Okay? A sound that could be made louder. Now the next point, the end. One day, a still day, when the hot air hummed, the humans came. So what happened? First of all, the meaning of the hot air hummed is that they could hear the sounds of the air as it passed. So one day, Their perfect life came to an end when the humans or hunters came in. The next, that is wine. After they captured my sister and me, they put us in a cramped, dark crate. Somehow I knew that in order to live, I had to let my old life die. But my sister could not let go of it. She kept thinking about our home all the time, till she fell very sick. So children, the humans or hunters, they captured them. Captured means they caught them. Who did they catch? They caught Ivan and his sister and put them into a crate. A crate means a large wooden container that is used for transporting something. Cramped means small and crowded with not much room to move. So they were put in a crate, that is a wooden container which did not have much space to move, and it was very dark. Mud, that is Ivan, adjusted to this life, forgetting his old life. He left behind in the jungle. But his twin sister Tag, she could not forget her life in the jungle. And finally, she fell sick and died. The next, the temporary human. It was Mac who opened that crate. Mac who took me and Mac who raised me like a human baby. I drank from a bottle. I slept in human beds, sat in human chairs, listened while human words swarmed around me like angry bees. Now children, Mac was the one who took care of Mud, that is Ivan, and brought him up like a human baby. Like drinking milk from a bottle, sleeping in human beds, and the talks of human around him, they sounded like angry bees buzzing, and he used to get irritated. Who used to get irritated? Ivan. Okay, because he was an animal, no? He was used to the jungle. Mac's wife, Helen, was quick to laugh, but quick to anger too, especially when I broke something, which was often. I broke the blender when I squeezed 3 tubes of toothpaste and a bottle of glue into it. I broke my toes attempting to swing from a lamp fixture on the ceiling. I broke 46 glasses. Well, it turns out there are many ways to break a glass. Every weekend, Mac and Helen drove me to a restaurant where they ordered something for me. I went to baseball games, to the grocery store, to a movie theater. Even to the circus. They did not have a gorilla. I rode a little motorbike and blew out candles on a birthday cake. My life as a human was an exciting one, although my parents would not have approved. Approved means thought of something as good. Ivan's life as a human. So children, Mac's wife was Helen, who was very quick in changing her moods, especially when Mud would break things. He says he broke things very often. That means many times. So what mistakes Mud made? He broke the blender, he squeezed out tubes of toothpaste and glue from bottles. The worst was he broke his toes when he tried to swing from the chandelier thinking it was a tree in the jungle. He broke 46 glasses as well. Can you imagine? So many glasses. So children, Ivan continues to tell us that he would drive with Mac and Helen to a restaurant and many other places and had a good time. He even went to baseball games, to the grocery stores, and even to a movie theater and a circus as well. He had a little motorbike all for himself on which he used to ride. He was blessed to celebrate his birthday like the humans by blowing candles and cutting a cake. Mud's life as a human was an exciting one, but his parents would not have approved of the new life Ivan was leading. So children, now the last point, that is hunger. In my new life as a human, I was well taken care of. Yet, at night, lying alone in my pajamas, I longed for the cheerful grunts of a play, fight, and the easy safety of my nearby troop. Remember what happened to Tag? I told myself, don't think about the jungle. Still, sometimes I lay awake, wishing for the warmth of another just like me. Now children, though Mac and Helen, they took great care of Mud, he was missing the life in the jungle with the troop. He suddenly remembered about his twin sister Tag, who could not forget the jungle's life and had lost her life due to that. So, he pacified himself not to remember the jungle. Mud was known as Ivan. He wished to have a warmth of someone like him. Warmth means kind and friendly. Children, the meaning of easy safety in this story is that Ivan was talking about the feeling of being loved and protected by his troop. Okay? Later, Ivan is sent to a shopping mall where he becomes a part of a stationary circus for many years. Stationary means not moving, which is not meant to be moved. You've seen circus? You find them in different cities. But stationary circus means it is situated at one place only. It doesn't move from there. Here, he becomes used to humans watching him all the time, and he hardly ever thinks of the jungle. After people begin to protest about Ivan's living conditions at the mall, he is adopted by a zoo. To know more about Ivan and what happens to him, read the complete novel, adapted from the one and only Ivan by Catherine Applegate. So children, later Ivan was sent to a shopping mall where he became a part of a stationary circus. I have already told you the meaning of stationary. Stationary means a circus that is stationed at one place, okay? Just at one place. Now he hardly thinks about his previous life in the jungle and gets used to people watching him. Children, here we finish with the explanation of this lesson. Please read this lesson thoroughly. I will be posting the hard words and question answers later. Thank you and God bless.